What is your view on the proposed expansion of the pond? Katie, the novice, just reminded me, opening statement, sorry. No,
Thank you so much. Quite a crowd in here this evening. I didn't know what to expect. My name is Katie Kyla. I'm running for the Ward 1 council seat. I have lived here in Rumford my whole life. I live on Don Ave now, but I grew up behind Uncle Tony's off of New Road. And I went to East Providence, all the East Providence schools. I went to Myron J. Francis, Martin. I graduated from East Providence High. I finished my degree at University of Rhode Island. I received the Centennial Scholarship for Academic Excellence at the university. And I went away to school and came home, and everything was different here. And I'm sad to say that East Providence is not the place that I remember it to be. And I'm wondering what has happened to our city. I've always been proud to call myself a townie. I love this place. I want to raise my family here. I want to stay here. And I'm discouraged that when I go door to door and meet constituents and talk to people, people want to leave, and I'm not okay with this. You know, people tell me, I love East Providence too. I've been here for 40, 50, 60 years. You know, I went to EP, but I can't afford to stay here, and I don't want to stay here. And I'm running for this seat because I really want to work together with the administrators in the best interest of the East Providence taxpayers. I feel that the current city council has not fairly represented all of the people, you know, living in my respective Ward 1, but also living throughout the city. And I hope that when the new council is elected, we will move forward in a positive direction and, you know, erase the negative publicity that surrounds our city. So thank you so much for coming to listen to me, and here we go.
Thanks so much, Jerry. My name is Bob Cusick. I'm the Ward 1 City Councilman now. And 4 years ago, I ran for this office. I have a financial background, economics degree from Fordham University in New York City, worked as an investment banker in my early 20s, did large, multi-$100 million transactions for states, municipalities, and agencies across the country. And with that financial background, looking at the problems of the city 4 years ago, I thought, well, they're financial, and I have a financial background, perhaps I could help. There were four elements to the campaign. One was to control spending, to control taxes, and to promote economic development, and to promote the quality of life. Controlling spending, we were able to get the concessions from all but one of our bargaining units, and that was a major success. We were able to keep budgets within the 3.5% tax increase cap, and also on economic development, we were able to attract one of 18 wall companies from Massachusetts to the old EFD property on Waterman Avenue by changing the enterprise zone from Riverside to that area in Waterman. Another success has been the Village on the Waterfront, $167 million mixed-use project down on the by Metaconic Country Club on the Veterans Memorial Parkway. Tremendous project, the largest in the state. And by negotiating a fair sharing arrangement with the $2.7 million of incremental tax revenues expected to come from that project, we were able to get that launched. Quality of life, we've limited signage, and we've cleaned up the streets. And another 2 years, I'd like to build on those successes. Thanks.
Our first question, what is your position on the proposed expansion of the Pondview facility?
I am against the expansion of Pondview. I think that the city needs to work to enforce the zoning variance that is already in existence. My opponent has been on the council for 4 years, and that variance has been in existence during that time, and he has done nothing to actively work towards keeping that under control. I am listening to the concerns of the people who live here. I understand that this is important. My main concern from the beginning has and will always be the health, safety, and quality of life of the people who live here. And I am pro-business as long as it serves my community, as long as it serves the people who live here. And I agree with many of their concerns, and I hope that we can work together amicably with Pondview to create a situation that is beneficial for all people in the city.
Thank you. For many years, I've been against the expansion of Pondview, and I have worked diligently and tirelessly to encourage the compliance by Pondview with city rules, ordinances, and the rules of basically the DEM and the state. However, the DEM has encouraged, not regulated. They have abrogated their responsibilities. It's time now for all of us to speak up and let our voices be heard and limit Pondview and certainly not allow it to expand. I find it curious that tonight is the first time I've heard anything from my opponent about Pondview, but she is supported by the Pondview interests. She is supported by the main proponents of Pondview in this city. So it may become a surprise to them too tonight to hear that. I don't know. Thanks.
I also find it curious that Mr. Cusack was also on the council when Bill Connolly was tirelessly working, as he says they were tirelessly working, to fight for the regulation that was in place. And then Bill Connolly got fired. How curious is that? And I think that while obviously we need to work together with the DEM, it all happens here in the city. And working on the variance that exists already and being on top of what is already in place is important. And those things have already been in place. And I don't understand why it has taken all the way to this election time for us to now talk about we need to be on top of these regulations. I agree, and you know, I think that we have taken too long, and it's very convenient that now is the time for action.
When Katie was approximately in the 8th grade, we were filming, we were videoing the activity at Pondview. The East Providence Coalition, the sponsor of this event tonight, worked diligently to monitor the activities there. As far as this city is concerned, they have the right and a license to process 150 tons of debris per day. In the opinion of the East Providence Coalition, they have never, ever complied with that limit. We have asked for inspections, we have asked for regulation from the state. It's not for a lack of effort on the part of the city, and it's not for a lack of effort on the part of the residents. Let's not blame them. Thank you.
As a member of the City Council, what will be your response to the elimination of the $6,000 exemption in the property tax for automobiles?
Well, we've already taken is to pass a resolution intending to restore that exemption just as fast as we can. However, given the shock of the loss of $5 million of revenue cut from us by the state, we really had no choice but to allow that to happen. There was just no other choice. Now, what we could do is we could raise property taxes in order to obtain $5 million. We could start cutting services, the senior center. We could cut park and recreation. We could cut a lot of things, but people don't want, they kind of like those services. The libraries, we used to get plenty of calls when that was all threatened. So we know what people want. People want services. In fact, the purpose of the city government is to render services. But the problem is, when unexpectedly we are cut $5 million, $2 million previously, there's really not much of a choice in the short run. Our intention, as stated in that resolution, is to restore that money to people just as soon as we can. Thank you.
I agree that it's terribly tragic, and you know, it was a hit for everyone. That the car tax is, I'm going to have to say, an inevitable scenario that we're going to have to deal with because it's, you know, coming from the state level. And I agree with my opponent that we don't want to have to cut services. We want people to